Ladies and gentlemen, welcome into the One Dad Seven Lives podcast, and I thank you for joining me today. Today, I want to talk about kids. I've got three of my own, one boy, two girls. But specifically, what we're going to talk about today is these special kids. You know the ones that are so bad that they get all the special treatment in the world. The ones that get taken out on trips and they get to be the teacher's favourite. Now I get that you don't want these kids in the class, but why does, kid A not get the special treatment but kid B does? My kids go to school and the kids that they have to deal with, they all get their hot chocolates and their day trips and their, everything else that goes along with it. They get to go to the shops and pick themselves up some sweeties for being super special kids. And my kids come home and the best thing that they get is they get a sticker. They get their name up on the recognition board. Right. I don't think that anybody should be given special treatment for being an arsehole. And let's face it, whether you like it or not, that's what these kids are. They're arseholes. They get allowed to be it, they get allowed to do whatever they want, and then they get treated specially for it. Now, you don't want to parent your kids, that's cool, but don't make my kids pay for it. Don't make my kids be the ones that have to deal with it on a daily fucking basis. It's absolutely unrealistic and unreal to expect that to be the thing that happens. It's obnoxious and it's absolutely disgusting that the teachers and the parents don't care. They care so little that they just let these kids run wild. And then when they do, they go, oh well, let's just take them out of class. And so we give them all the special treatment in the world. For what? To reinforce their negative behaviour? To tell the kids that, yeah, that's fine, you keep doing that and you can be the bad child and you can still get all this special stuff for being... No, that's not how the world works. And you're teaching these kids that the world works in a way that it doesn't work. I'm a grown-ass adult, and if I was to do something like these kids do, I'm not getting hot chocolate, I'm not getting, a pat in the back or well done and let's go to the shop and get you some sweeties. My ass getting locked up, I'm getting thrown in jail, and I'm staying there for a period, whether it be 24 hours or more. I don't know, but what I do know is that we're teaching kids that doing things that are incorrect or negative behaviours are the right things to do because their parents can't be bothered to parent them. That is your child, your responsibility. Doesn't matter what the kid is, boy, girl, whatever. You chose to have a child. Whatever circumstances that child was born in or born through doesn't matter. You chose that child, so you have to be that child's parent it. I don't understand why you're out here telling me that my kid is a bad kid because he throws something that he's not supposed to throw, but your kids are allowed to be out there doing whatever they want, being whatever they want, getting whatever they want, because you can't be bothered to parent them. That's absolutely ridiculous and it's obnoxious, and the fact that anybody thinks that that's an okay thing is even worse. And the schools, as we all know, love to reinforce this because the special children can't be told that they're bad. Fuck that shit. Tell them they're bad. I had my ass whipped at school multiple times because I saw and did things that weren't correct. They weren't the right thing to do. So it was decided that I would get suspended, I would get expelled from school. Not expelled, but suspended. And whether you believe that that's correct or not, I don't care. This is not the way that children should be treated. Children need to have boundaries. You teach your kids that they've got boundaries as they grow up, and they continue to learn that those boundaries are a thing that they're supposed to respect. But when you've got kids running about kicking, punching, biting, pissing on other kids because you can't be bothered to teach your kid that those boundaries need to be respected for everyone, that's not on. And it's absolutely fucking absurd that you think that your child deserves the special treatment that it gets just because you haven't taught it that its boundaries are a thing. You need to grow up. You're an adult. You need to grow the fuck up. You need to be the one that teaches this child. I can't teach you how to teach it. I can teach my kids how to respond. And I don't think that it's fair that my kids get into trouble for responding. It's absolutely ridiculous that you think that your kid's an angel. I know my kids aren't angels. None of them are. Especially my youngest one. My youngest one is a demon in disguise. But that is another story for another day. But you can't be out here telling me that your kid's an angel, and because you can't be bothered to teach it respect or rules or anything else like that, that my kid has to be punished. Which is what my kids see it as. They see it as a punishment, and I can guarantee, well, I know that other kids see it as a punishment to them because they don't get the special stuff that the special kids do. If your kid can't be in a school with normal, everyday, upstanding, regular kids, get it the fuck out of the school. Just get it gone. That's what happened when I was at school. Primary school, secondary school, didn't matter. Whether you were 8, 10, 12, 15, if you were an unreasonable child, unruly child, and couldn't be taught, and the teachers were unable to tell you how to behave, and you couldn't behave, you were gone. What? Are you telling me that we can't do that now? No child left behind? Nah. Some people need to be left behind. Some people are just not, and I mean not, sufficient enough to exist in society along with everybody else. That's why we have things like, suspensions, expulsions. You get them gone, get them out of here, take them away. I don't care. It's not my kid. If my kid did something wrong enough that it had to be expelled or suspended from school, then I would accept that because clearly my kid was an arsehole. I don't think that in any way whatsoever that these kids should be treated special. They're not. What, just because you're a terrible person, your child gets to grow up and be a terrible person, and what, they have kids and their kids get to grow up to be terrible people? Oh yeah, wonderful. Just what society needs. More absolute fucking horrors of human beings roaming the world in existence with what? No morals, no fucking common sense, no being of being a normal human being. That's insane, and I find it completely ridiculous that there's people out there that think that that should be a thing and that kids should be allowed to be that. Teach your kids, grow some balls, and teach your kids. Punish them. If they need to be punished, then punish them. That's it. It is what it is. Deal with the kid as it stands. Deal with what's in front of you. You don't need to be the harshest parent on the planet. You don't need to be the softest person on the planet. I am a father of 3. I've got 2 dogs, a missus, and sometimes I have to be the arsehole of the house. But my kids love me. There's nothing that I could say or do. My kid might cry when I shout at it, or, especially my youngest, but my kids might cry when I moan at them, when I shout at them, when I give them into trouble, when I punish them. No TV, no snacks after dinner time, no book at bedtime. But I can guarantee you within 2 minutes of that, I can be sitting with that same kid that I've just given into trouble, and I can tickle them and play with them and laugh with them and tell them that I love them, and they'll tell me that they love me. And that's what a child with respect for its parents is. It's a respectful child. Sometimes kids do things wrong. Shit happens. They're kids. 95% of it, we just let it go. But there are some things that kids do that we just have to put our foot down. We have to say, no, this is unacceptable. And my kids know what the limits are. Sometimes they push them, as all kids do. But in all cases, they understand that if they push the limits, they will get into trouble. And if they get into trouble, they understand why. It's explained to them, and that's it. I don't get why there's people out there that can't. Why can't you punish your kid? Your kid isn't going to hate you forever. Might hate you for 5 minutes, 10 minutes. I've had my eldest daughter, who's the middle one of the 3, not speak to me for half an hour. But she'll come back to me eventually. She knows why she get given into trouble. She understands it. She knows the reason behind it. And she respects it. She might not like it, but she knows that if she shows me respect, I will respect her. And that's all it is. I don't understand how you cannot parent a child. These motherfuckers easy. They're small, tiny human beings. It ain't that difficult to point your finger and tell them no. And I don't want to hear the whole, ADHD, ADD nonsense. Absolute nonsense. My kid was bullied for several years, to the point of making him physically sick. It was affecting him to go to school. And he still does it. He understands that these people have been dealt with, and now he doesn't need to deal with them anymore. So I don't understand why you as a parent can't teach that child of yours that is doing the bullying why it's wrong, why it's bad, why they shouldn't be doing it. It's insane to me that you have a child that is within the schooling system, within the age range of 5 and 12, And you cannot tell that child that it shouldn't be doing something. You cannot teach that child that it can't do this to people. How absolutely delirious are you? You must be insane. You must think that we're insane, because there is absolutely no way on this earth that you cannot tell a child under the age of 12 that it cannot or should not be doing something. No way. Absolutely no way. It's unreal and unreasonable to even have me think that. You are an adult, they are a child. You can have respect for your child and you can have respectful conversations with your child without the need for screaming or shouting or attacking them like a banshee. You know, there's no need for it. But at the same time, there is also no need for your child to be acting the way that they do. And if you tell me that that child is, that's all they can do, that's all they know, then that's your fault. You are the person responsible for that life. There is nothing else, there is nothing more, there is nothing less. It is you as a parent responsible for them. Your responsibilities are to make sure that they grow up healthy, they grow up happy, and they grow up as a well-formed member of society. Now, I don't know about you, but for me, happy and well-formed member of society don't generally go along with total arsehole in the classroom. And I'm sorry if that seems harsh or if you don't like that, but your kid is not happy if it's lashing out at other people. Your kid is not a well-formed member of society if it is beating other children, biting other children, if it is hitting you as an adult. I have had kids that don't understand the difference between play and fight, and I have watched them hit adults, hit teachers, and there is no way that you can tell me, adult to adult, that this is a normal thing for a child. That a child can hit an adult and it's absolutely a-okay for that to happen. That's unreal and that's unreasonable, and I don't, under any circumstances, see that you should be allowing that as a parent of that child, or that you should be accepting that as a parent. There is no way on God's green earth that you can tell me that that child is happy in the situation that it's in. Do not tell me that that child is happy. It's not. If the child was happy, it wouldn't, and I repeat, wouldn't be lashing out the way it does. Children don't lash out because they are happy. Children lash out because they don't want to be in a situation that they're in. They have frustrations and angers that they want to take out, and they don't have a way of doing it. So, they lash out at someone. They take their angers and frustrations out on people. They decide that, you know what, I don't like this situation, I'm just going to do X, Y, and Z, and that'll get me out of it. Because when you're talking about the kids that are 8, 9, 10, 11 years old, they understand that if they do these things, then they'll get out of the classroom and they will be allowed to be the special children. And if you think these kids don't know that, then, and you're a teacher listening to this, then there's something wrong with you. These kids absolutely understand that they get special treatment if they do these things. Absolutely they do. And if you think otherwise, then there's something wrong with you. Because these kids absolutely understand that. These kids absolutely recognise that they get special treatment. And I know this because I deal with, or did, not so much anymore, but personally dealt with one of these kids that gets that special treatment. And yes, he absolutely 100% understood that if he did something wrong, he'd get pulled out of the class. Of course he knew that. He's a child, he's not an idiot. And for you to think otherwise is a bit obnoxious, if we're being entirely honest. You know, it's not something that many of us think about, but it is something that should be thought about. These kids are learning that they get to be bad, do what they want, and still are praised for it. Not just praised for it, but they're given special treatment. They're allowed to be bad and get away with it. You know, they are told that, well, if you're bad, we'll take you to the shops. Oh, we'll just take you for a wee ride to the park. Like, that is nuts. You should not be taking a child to the park if they're being a dickhead. And excuse me for saying it, but these kids are dickheads. You know, some of them are brought up in uncomfortable situations, shall we say, and that I perfectly understand. I know that that's a thing that happens, and okay, that's fair enough. But some of these kids are just dickheads for being dickheads. They're just, that's it. That's all they want, and that's all they want to do. And I don't think that it's unreasonable of me to say that. These kids understand that they're being dickheads. They want to be dickheads, and that's how they deal with life. If I don't get what I want, I'm gonna hit. If I don't get what I want, I'm gonna punch, I'm gonna bite, I'm gonna hit, I'm gonna, you know, whatever it might be, they're gonna do it because they know that they will get the special treatment. They will get the treats. They'll get and it's nuts that anybody thinks that that's a reasonable way to deal with life. And this, I'm addressing the teachers and the head teachers more, you know, principals or whatever you may call them. There is absolutely no way that you can tell me that these kids are happy being dealt with that way. They may be happy in the moment, but what happens when the treat goes away? You know, when they're back in school, are they happy then? No, they're not. They don't want to be there. They don't care. They're quite happy to be away and out and nowhere near anybody that's doing anything related to the school, because they've been taught that they can be dickheads, and that's how that life deals with people. And you're setting these kids up for failure. You know, I understand the whole, you know, we can't leave any kids behind type thing, but at the same time, you're also talking about setting kids up for failure for the rest of their life. Literally, for the rest of their entire life. You're talking about taking kids, teaching them that it's okay to do things wrong because, well, we'll just look after you and we'll give you the nice things. And then when they get out into the real world, the big bad scary world that I don't even half understand as an adult, you're then telling them, well, actually, this isn't how the world deals with people. Sorry, good luck. No, that's absolutely ridiculous. And it's insane that you allow this to happen to these kids. These kids are being treated like, I don't know, shit on the bottom of your shoe. Like, you're taking these kids and you're just going, oh, get them gone. Like, they'll be fine. Just get them away. That's not how the world works. Like, yes, I understand there are some bad apples. There are some kids who are just gonna be that. They're just gonna be that bad kid. I get that. I had some in my lifetime. I've met some, I've dealt with some. But you cannot tell me that every single one of these kids is that. Some of these kids have probably got terribly fucking shitty home lives, have probably been dealing with insane parents for most of their life. And now you're just teaching them, don't worry about it, we'll just dump you into the system and you'll be fine. They won't be. These kids are in for a terrible, terrible run of it. Because, what? You can't be bothered teaching them how to be a normal human part of society, an everyday person. That's just disgusting. And I just feel for these kids because they don't stand a chance, and you're just leading them absolutely face first, nose first into absolute depravity, and there is nothing that they can do. They have to deal with it, and that's it. And I think the fact that these kids are being dealt with this way is just absolutely ridiculous. And I think it's unfair to the kids themselves, because these poor little bastards are they are gonna have to deal with it when they grow up. Now, some of them will get out of it no bother, but some of them, unfortunately, won't. Some of them will maybe never see the outside world for the rest of their life. Some of them may not make it past 21. But this is what you're leading these kids into, is a world that they're not ready for, a world that they're just not ready to be in. And unfortunately, most of the parents don't fucking care. Why would they? They get handouts and they get, everybody doing everything for them, so why should they give a fuck? And it's insane, absolutely insane, that you are allowing this to be your kid. Do not allow that to happen. Stop allowing it to happen. Help these kids. Teach them. Spend time with them. Understand what's going on, rather than just writing them off as, oh well, they're just this. Some of these kids can absolutely 100% have a chance at a better life, have a better chance at life. Most of them not so much. But the fact that you are allowing it to happen is another thing altogether. Absolutely insane. Nuts. But anyway, that's my rant for today over. Come back and join me tomorrow when we're going to be talking about something completely different. My name is Mr. Funk, and y'all have a good day.